Hello, everybody. If you don't know me already, my name is Shirley Young, Associate Consultant here at Lanier College Consulting, and I'd like to invite you to the next installment in our video series on important things you should know in your pathway to college. This week, I'd like to discuss college visits. Why are they important? What should you hope to get out of visiting colleges? And what should you know before visiting colleges? The first thing that I'd like to cover is why should you consider visiting colleges? To begin with, this is a good way for you to get a feel for a particular college's campus and what it would be like to be a student there. Before pinpointing the colleges you'd like to visit, some important questions you should ask yourself are, how big of a school do I want to attend? Would I be happy at a school with 30, 40, 50,000 students? Or do I want a school with a much smaller student population and a smaller student to professor ratio? Another question is, do I want a rural or urban school? Do I want to be on the East Coast or the West Coast? Do I want to be somewhere where it will snow a lot during the winter? These are all questions that you should ask yourself in helping to define the colleges you would be most happy at. On top of that, certain schools do track what is known as demonstrated interest. Now, this is something that will warrant a whole separate video all on its own, but for now, what I will say is that demonstrated interest is when you actively show colleges that you have a genuine interest in attending. Now, this doesn't quite matter as much at big public state schools where they have upwards of 100,000 students who apply every year. However, at smaller private schools, this is something that can make a difference. And when you do things such as attend college information systems or tour the campus or speak with an admissions officer, these are all things that will be noted in your application file. From here, let's go over some basics regarding college visits. The first thing to note is that most colleges don't fully open their campus visit schedule until early spring. This means that spring break would be a great time to pack in some of these visits. The second thing to note is that most colleges will offer both an information session as well as a campus tour, and there will usually be one set offered in the morning and another one in the afternoon. Now, this is important to keep in mind when you are planning out your visits because some students try and fit in multiple colleges on the same day. And what I would say is it will be very, very hard to visit and get as much as you can out of that visit if you are trying to fit in more than 2 colleges per day. Something else to note also is that some schools will also offer additional opportunities for you, such as a short meeting with an admissions officer, or a departmental tour of, let's say, the engineering school, the School of Arts and Sciences, the School of Arts and Architecture, and so on. Lastly, do make sure to check on the campus visit pages of the different colleges you are considering, just to make sure that things are still being offered and make sure that you are on top of all of the COVID guidelines. All right, so before arriving at the college, there are some things you can prepare in order to get the most out of your experience. The first is to prepare a checklist of things to watch out for. For example, how do the staff and faculty interact with students? If you have the opportunity to sit in on a class, pay special attention to the professor-student interaction. How would you feel as an actual student in that classroom? Something else to consider is, does the campus feel like a good size for you, both in actual physical size and in the size of the student body? If you are coming from a school where you only have 500 to 600 students, how would you feel suddenly joining a college where there are thousands upon thousands of students around you? Other things to consider. Did the students generally make you feel at home? Were you able to ask for help or directions easily? How easy is it to get around the campus? How easy or difficult is it to gain access to things you'll need in daily life, such as a grocery store or a bookstore? And most importantly, did you feel comfortable and safe in this environment? You should also have a few lists of questions that you will ask and look out for opportunities to do so. For example, if you do get to interact with actual students, you can ask things such as, is the teaching innovative, hands-on, and project-oriented, or is it mostly lecture-based? Do you feel you have ready access to professors when you have questions or problems that need input? How many students are typically in freshman classes? What are some of the most popular clubs or events on campus? And so on and so forth. If you do get the rare chance to meet with an admissions officer, you should prepare questions such as, my favorite subject at school is blank. How could that translate into a major at your university? What opportunities are there for undergraduate research, something very, very important for you in order to gain hands-on experience? Is there a themed learning community, freshman experience, or any other unique programs included in the school's curriculum? We would be more than happy to help you put together a document with personalized trip tips and questions to ask. But for now, start thinking about the kind of college that you would feel the most comfortable at and what you would hope to get out of a visit to this college. Doing so will ensure that you get as much as possible out of the time that you spend. Talk to you soon.